So, here's a wild what if that's been stuck in my head ever since watching Dexter Resurrection. What if Charley is actually the daughter of Tanya Martin from Original Sin? Yeah, I know it sounds crazy at first, but the more I thought about it, the more the puzzle pieces started clicking together in the most suspiciously neat way. But before we dive in, quick shameless plug. If you haven't already, smash the subscribe button, toss me a like and drop your thoughts in the comments. And hey, if you're feeling extra generous, channel membership is where the exclusive goodies live. Seriously, it helps us out more than you know. Alright, sales pitch over, let's get into this theory before I start sounding like an infomercial host. Now, let's talk parallels, because this is where it gets fun. The infamous blood slides were said to have been sold to Prater by an FBI agent with a gambling problem. In Original Sin, Tanya Martin was drowning in, you guessed it, gambling debt. Not just a couple of poker nights gone bad debt, we're talking career-ruining, life-destroying, Vegas nightmare kind of debt. And what do people with catastrophic gambling issues do? They make desperate deals. Oh, and just to sprinkle more intrigue on the pile, Tanya left Miami Metro before the original Dexter series even kicked off. Suspicious timing, don't you think? But here's the kicker. Tanya had a daughter younger than Dexter, a daughter who, if we squint just a little at the timeline, could easily be Charley. And you know what the Dexter wiki says? Both Charley and Dokes were Army Rangers. Coincidence? Or is this one of those red strings on a bulletin board connections that suddenly feels less like a fan theory and more like, wait a second, did they actually plan this? So here's my pitch. Charley is Tanya's daughter and her entire connection to Prater is born out of one of Tanya's desperate backroom deals. Picture it, Tanya drowning in debt, cornered by her own demons. Prater steps in with a devil's bargain. New identity, fresh start, money in the bank, in exchange for the Bay Harbor Butcher slides that have landed in FBI custody after the investigation. But the real catch? Protection. And who better to serve as that protection than Tanya's daughter Charley, who eventually grows into a highly trained Army Ranger. It explains everything. Why Prater trusts Charley implicitly even though she doesn't seem to buy into his grand worldview. It also makes sense why Charley lies to her mother about being a teacher. It's the perfect cover. I mean, hey mum, I teach algebra sounds way more innocent than, hey mum, I'm essentially the personal enforcer of one of the most dangerous men you'll ever meet. She's not protecting herself from Tanya, she's protecting Tanya from herself, shielding her from the truth of what her daughter has become. Now, let's tackle one of the weirder gaps in the story. If Charley and Dokes knew each other from the army, then suddenly it makes sense why Prater carefully avoids using the Bay Harbor Butcher nickname around Dexter, because Charley never fully bought into it. She might have known Dokes, respected him, may even suspected there was more to the story, and when she sees Dexter kill Gemini, that flicker of disbelief on her face isn't just shock, it's recognition that the narrative she's been fed doesn't quite add up. And let's not overlook the personality parallel here. Charley's suspicion toward Dexter is eerily similar to Dokes' original, I've got my eye on you Morgan energy. She's sharp, she's skeptical, and she doesn't let things slide. If she really is Tanya's daughter and has some kind of indirect connection to Dokes, then her instincts aren't just coincidental, they're practically genetic. So where does this leave us? With a potentially fascinating dynamic between Dexter and Charley. Think about it. They're both hiding behind false identities, both scarred by the choice of their parents, both denied the chance at a normal life because of someone else's sins. There's a strange mirror image vibe here, and I wouldn't be surprised if the writers were setting up a deeper relationship between them, whether it's reluctant allies, frenemies, or something even stranger. And that brings us back to the hospital bed scene. At first, it felt like a random moment, almost filler. But if this theory holds water, that scene was a breadcrumb, a little narrative bridge tying Resurrection back to Original Sin and hinting at a much bigger web of connections than we realized. So what do you think? Am I galaxy braining this too hard, or does the Tanya-Charley connection actually track? Either way, I'm telling you, if the writers do pull this reveal, I'll be insufferable in the I called it department. Until then, keep your theory sharp, your knife sharper, and remember, sometimes the bloodstains in Dexter's universe run a whole lot deeper than they look.